Hello, beautiful souls. Victoria Amador here from Soul Healing Tribe. And today I want to talk about ancestral healing, ancestral lineage healing. And if you know me, you know that I'm super passionate about ancestral healing because it's one of the things that I love doing. I love connecting and learning about my ancestors, the recent ones, the older ones, and working in the dream realm to experience the ancestors that nobody knows about. So ancestral healing is deep within my core. It's something that I'm super passionate about. And I'm super excited to bring this to you because for the small group that we're going to come together and start doing this as a cohort, I think it's going to be so magical beyond what I can express in words. So, super excited to be doing this conversation today. So, ancestral healing. And I think the first thing that I want to talk about ancestral healing is that when it comes to ancestral healing, it's not a one thing and that's it. It's not going to be, this program is going to get you so interested and so immersed, but it's going to be almost like the beginning for some of you of really connecting with parts of yourself that you had no idea were there, especially when people feel separate from some of the ancestors and they think I'm just not one of them. I don't feel connected. Guess what? That means parts of yourself you are also rejecting. So doing this work is going to be so beautiful because it's going to bring us to ahas that we couldn't even imagine before. So, the ancestral lineage, all of the information throughout time and space about who our ancestors have been, what they experienced, the challenges, the pros, the cons, are all encoded in our cellular, like our cellular being, our vibrational being, is all there as part of a cellular data that is encoded within us when we're trying to determine to come here and the things that we're going to experience, our soul mission, and so on. All of that data is going to be there. Nobody gets away with this, even if you don't feel a connection to your ancestors. That just means that there is work there to do, but it is impossible for you not to have that information because it is part of who we are at a core level. So when we start working with our ancestors, this is going to be such beautiful, sacred work because we're really going to awaken that connection. The moment that we decide to do this work, our connection to our ancestors is going to be amplified, activated, or supercharged. So we're going to start experiencing dreams and things that we haven't before. You are going to start asking questions to your parents that you have access to, or you're going to put an intention in your dreams and you're going to start receiving or doing this work in meditation if you don't have parents to ask these questions, because you're going to get answers and those answers are going to take you to the next and the next moment and the next moment. And when we come in the sessions to do the work once a week, it's going to be like, wow, I didn't think this was possible. So our bodies are basically energy, right? Within our energy body, we have certain cellular structures, data that are encoded within that cellular matrix. So when we decide to come here, depending on our soul mission, purpose, and so on, our nervous system is going to be part of what holds that DNA, that cellular data. Within the nervous system, not only we have the ancestral lineage information, but we also have the collective consciousness of what happened to this planet throughout time and space. So we have all of that. That's why we have access to all of that, because it's part of who we are. We wouldn't be able to meditate and go and experience things outside of this experience if we didn't have that encoded within us. We have access naturally to this information. And all we're going to do is follow specific exercises and experiences that you're going to trance experiences in order for you to get what you need to understand about your ancestrals, collective, or yourself. And it's going to really connect you in a way that you haven't thought possible before. So through epigenetics, we know that the genes of the ancestors are passed down generation to generation. And through how the genes are expressing, it tells the DNA, this is how you need to read me. So the DNA is just basically following the command that the genes are sending, right, through the epigenetics. So the same thing happens when we have all the cellular data put into us from the beginning of time to now. And all of that information is accessible to us, not only through the nervous system, but different parts of our body. Our body's going to hold those memories regardless. It could be in the fingers, it could be in the mouth, it could be in the legs, it could be in the bones, it could be in the hips, it could be in the head. It doesn't matter because we are all so different that the cellular data that was put into us is going to give us the sensations and feelings that we need in order for us to go to where we need to go and do the work that we need to do that our ancestors couldn't do. And we can also pick up the positive things, the strengths that they have, the qualities, the positive qualities that we can use and amplify for this life here right now. So it's not just about the bad things. We also want to be able to experience the positive things, the connection that they had to Earth, the magic that they have within that we have lost throughout time and, throughout time. So our nervous system has all the specific compartments of that ancestral information that is passed down from generation to generation. We also hold the consciousness of Gaia also within us. And we also hold the information about who we have been throughout time and space. So we have so much information that is interconnected and talking to each other and expressing in a way that forms who we are here. So when we start working on ancestral healing, we're going to be able to help our genes understand that some of the trauma, the wounds that our ancestors experience do no longer have to keep us in limiting beliefs, in the pain, in the hurt, in the suffering, in the traumas, because we can now transmute, release, and heal that. And we're going to be working side by side with our ancestors to do that. It's going to be beautiful, beautiful work. In shamanism, we know that this is possible because we know that we are all connected. But for a lot of different practices or people that don't believe in anything, there is this degree of separation. And all we're going to do is close the gap. So we're going to close the gap because we need to be able to experience oneness within us, within our family line, within our ancestors. So you're gonna have to really allow yourself to follow your spirit. Is this something that I want to do? Because if it is, you're in for a wild ride. So a lot of the mysterious blocks that we can experience that we have worked through and we just keep working through, sometimes it comes from the ancestors. And when we open ourselves to that possibility, we are going to activate that connection with our ancestors. And they're finally going to be like, welcome. And I don't know about you, if you had any of those dreams or trance experiences or meditations, when you feel a deep connection to your ancestors and you feel like you belong, it is the most beautiful thing in the planet. I had so many experiences with different type of ancestors, not just natives or Africans or Latinos, but even the ones that I'm like, wow, I didn't see that coming. And I can tell you that it feels like this is magical. This is beyond magical because it's so real. You have this sense like, wow, this is so true. This is like really who I am. This is where I belong. And every time that you experience that, it just gets better and better. So it's like really, truly understanding that you are part of something bigger, something ancient and wiser than you thought possible. And when I was channeling for the Awakening the Healer program a few years ago, one of the names that they gave me was the name of the chakra that I had no idea about, that is below our feet, 12 inches below our feet. And they told me it was Kanta, that I had a lot of energy beings, ancestors, spirit guides, and so on, that are from India, and they will speak to me in certain words that then I have to look up. So anyways, Kanta was one of those. Kanta was the name that they gave me for the star chakra that is directly below our feet. That connection to the animal kingdom, to the plant kingdom, to the minerals and so on, come from really having that chakra in alignment. And I realized that when we start working with our ancestors, years and years ago, when I started going into 21 divisions, one of the things that I realized was I was experiencing a lot of their pain. I was being haunted in my dreams by certain people that look, they, like they have the European Spanish looking appearance. And in my dreams, I would look like a mulata, like brown skin, a combination of things, and old woman that was being like I had to run. And I knew it wasn't me. I knew it wasn't ancestors because of the way that it felt. And I remember seeing her and thinking, wow, she's really special. And back then, I can tell you this very honestly, back then I didn't know what to do in that dream. And I had it many, many times, but I remember always tapping into her energy and feeling she's really special. There is something about this woman that is special. And she's one of the ones that was training me to work with the sacral energy and to really do a lot of rebirthing. And I was like, wow, she really is very, very, very special. And one of the things that I wish I had done back then, but eventually I got to do, was to really open myself in the dreams to, can I intervene? Not because I'm going to change the past, but because I can give her, through what I'm doing, give her some healing. And I realized, wow, I was already doing the healing by connecting with her. I just needed to take a step further. And that's when I started doing a lot of deep, deep healing on behalf and with me, for me and my ancestors, because at the end of the day, when we work on our ancestors, we work on ourselves too, right? And we work on our descendants. So anyways, let's go back to the ancestral healing. So the ancestral healing, when we start working on things that are very like, I don't know why I have this mysterious block is still coming up. It may be because the layers that were directly because of you and your soul throughout time and space needed to deal with, but when you start going deeper and deeper, and there's still there stuff that you need to work through, it may be because it's also related to the ancestral, and there's more work there to do with the ancestral line. And science research has found that epigenetics is a real thing. We know this in shamanism and spiritualism, but now with science, it's like there's evidence. That means, I don't know, for some reason, when we know science can prove something, I think it's like, oh, at least I know that I'm not really going crazy because I really, really, really believe this, right? So our genes can carry the information about limiting beliefs, limiting habits, patterns, behaviors, features from our ancestors, pain, trauma, wounds, and so on. So when we start doing ancestral healing, we are going to tap into some of those things that we need to assist our ancestral lineage with, so that they can experience release, healing, so that I can feel better too, and that my descendants can feel better. So there is the focus is not just on seeing the good things, but really experiencing healing, right? And to do that, we have to go to the moments that are traumatic. So I'm going to be guiding you to go through those experiences so that you can experience deep healing. If you have some dreams with ancestors, sometimes what I notice when I do a lot of this with clients is that an ancestor that had a bad rap here because they were not that nice sometimes come in the dreams. And they come because they're trying to work through what they did. But because we don't know any better, we push them away. So a lot of things that we're going to do also is going to involve a little bit of dream work. If you are already there, if you're not there, there will be things that you can do, and I will let you know, so that you can start working in the dream realm. but that's going to depend up to you because it takes a lot of discipline. But the weekly times that we spend together, you're going to be experiencing work on like anything else you experience. And it's really going to take you deeper and deeper and deeper each and every time. So that even if you don't work in the dream realm the way that you should be doing, you still, that's just an optional, that's a plus thing. It's not something that is required. We're going to be able to work with our body, with our thoughts, with the things that we know about ancestors, the things that we don't know about ancestors, and really develop, especially if you have kids, we want to develop ancestral empathy where we're teaching our kids, listen, this is what we went through, so that they can be strong. Because I think sometimes we don't do that because we don't want to let them know where we come from, the pain that we endure, but that can make us strong. And also when we develop empathy for ancestors, we also develop empathy and compassion for ourselves. So this is always going to come back to us. So I just wanted to introduce this so that you have an idea of what we're going to be doing in the program. For those that are interested, check out the link below. I'm going to basically do the training for 3 months. It's possible that we might go a little longer, depending on, there are things that I want to make sure that we accomplish. And it is possible that we might do 3 months, but maybe extend it a little more at the same price, though. I'm not going to ask you for more money. If for some reason I need to go an extra month, an extra few weeks, I just want you to know that ahead of time. So we are going to be doing talks. We're going to be doing exercises. We're going to do breath work. We're going to be doing using shamanic components for those that are open to them, like hapesa, nanga, cacao, and other medicines, tobacco. If you are in one of the African-based traditions, right, like the Afro-Caribbean traditions, you might be using tobacco or some other things that you use that you can also use. It's not that I'm going to be teaching you. If you already have it, and if it only takes me a couple of minutes to teach you, that's not a problem. But this is not an occult ancestral practice training or anything like that. This is very based on you, your ancestors, and what you need to work through, what you need to integrate so that you can feel better, so that you can connect with them, so that you can help them, so that you can help yourself. So this is not an occult training by any means. If you're looking for that, that's not the training. This is not the training for you. We're going to be learning some things, what happens before we come here, what traumas could be there that we need to work through, and things that parents or grandparents have said, or aunts and uncles, things that you have experienced in your dreams, things that just come through meditation, and the things that are going to start coming through the trance work that you're going to be doing in this training. So if you use shamanic components, that's going to amplify that. If you use tobacco, that's going to amplify that. Tobacco, not like smoking tobacco just for no reason, but tobacco in a very sacred way to develop a strong connection with the spirit of tobacco. So in the meantime, I'm going to leave it here. Check out the link that I'm going to put below, and hopefully I'll see you in the training. I'm super excited to have you, and I cannot wait to get started. Thank you.